Whitehaven Coal has been under a cloud because of this Nathan Tinkler stake of 19.4%. In fact, it wasn't too long ago that we saw the shares reaching a post-GFC low at $1.77.5, and that was just on the 2nd of May. So the fact that we have seen an offloading of around about half of its stake is a good sign for Whitehaven shareholders. If we have a look at Whitehaven, it is a single commodity play. Most of the assets are in the Gunnedah Basin, and potential upside comes for Whitehaven Coal when we see a recovery in terms of coal prices or the development of Maules Creek. Now, the Maules Creek development is probably a key for the company in the next 18 months. There's a $1.2 billion debt facility, and that's a 4-year facility. The first debt covenant test isn't until December 2014. So if we have a look at the coal market, yes, it's depressed, but I guess that's already been factored into share prices. So once we see an improvement there, that's a positive for Whitehaven Coal. And I really do think this Nathan Tinkler's stake has been a cloud over the company. So the fact that we have seen around about half of that stake being offloaded today are positive for Whitehaven Coal shareholders.
Let's get used to that ticker code. New News Corp, opening for business. And what might we expect?
We will see New News Corp trading for the first time on the ASX, and we'll see trades starting at midday today. So we're watching that one. This, of course, is the publishing arm of the old News Corporation, which will be housing the core assets of News Corporation and being renamed 21st Century Media. The full demerger is actually not till the 28th of June, but we will see New News Corp shares starting trade. Now, these New News Corp will hold the publishing assets, they'll hold REA Group, the Foxtel stake as well. And of course, recently we saw $1.2 to $1.4 billion write-down being announced to these assets. If we have a look at New News Corp, I think some of the issues that it's going to have to deal with and some of the key themes for the actual business is we're probably going to continue to see cost cutting in the newspaper space. Good growth will probably still come from REA Group and good cash flow from the Foxtel assets as well, but the problems in the newspaper space is really going to overwhelm. It'll still make up, the Australian newspaper assets will still make up about 63% of the assets of New News Corp. So starting trade today, the first day of trade can be quite volatile. We're expecting it to trade between $16 to $17 today, but midday is the day that it will start trading, so that will be an important one for News Corp shareholders.
Let's look at Leighton, Julia. Out of the gate, spikes over 3%. A bit of a shake-up at the board level.
I guess for Leighton's, the key thing, I think, is the board level. And we saw Standard & Poor's when it came out with its rating, saying that's probably the #1 threat to the credit rating of Leighton. So if we do see more independent directors coming on board at Leighton's, that's a positive for the company and positive for its credit rating as well. But all in all, I think Leighton shares rising quite strongly on the open on the day, which should be pretty good for the Aussie market. We saw some strong leads out of Wall Street, but of course it's going to be all about tonight, and that's the FOMC meeting. The market really looking for clues on the schedule and the timing of the tapering back of quantitative easing. Remembering that if we do see a tapering back, we are still seeing quantitative easing. It's just not happening at the level that we're used to at $85 billion a month. So that's really going to be key for the markets, not only the stock markets, but commodities and currencies as well. In terms of commodities, while we saw iron ore prices doing very well, we did see gold, silver, as well as copper prices declining. So that's a consideration for our market today, although oil prices did see a rise. But I think the next 24 hours is going to be all about the FOMC meeting, and the markets may be quite volatile ahead of that meeting and the positioning ahead of that.